everybody, I'm Wildman Wes, and welcome to another edition of Planet Powerbomb. Today we're going to be talking about last night's Royal Rumble. It was at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Pretty decent pay-per-view for a 4-hour show. I will just briefly tap on the pre-show events. Normally I try to grade some of these matches. Unfortunately, due to the first 3 pre-show matches, there were some commercial breaks in between, so it kind of cut away from a lot of the action, so I'm just not going to grade those. First up, there was the 6-man tag team match between Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik versus TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. Decent match for what it was, like I said, apart from the commercial breaks. The winners of that match were Kalisto, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik. The next one up would be the tag team match of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus the Revival of Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Like I said before, the commercial break kind of sucked. So I kind of saw Gallows and Anderson probably beating the Revival due to the size advantage. Usually they have a lot of squash matches. But I will say the Revival actually got the better of them. Sometimes size isn't everything. But anyways, the Revival looks like they're going to, be a force to be reckoned with, even, for some smaller guys. Other than that, the last pre-show match was an open invitation for the United States Championship of Bobby Roode, and Mojo Rawley accepted the challenge. Pretty decent match. Bobby Roode started off pretty well. Mojo kind of turned the tables a little bit, but Roode got the better of him, and like I said, commercial break, is to be expected. Well, on that note, we are going to move on to the main card of the Royal Rumble. Starting with the 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. The champions are Jimmy and Jey Uso, taking on Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. This one, pretty good for the most part. They were both going back and forth. When you look at the Usos, they're a great force. They're great entertainers. They can put on one hell of a match. Not being said, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin are beasts in their own right. At Clash of Champions, we saw how Chad Gable could take on some bigger opponents, especially if I remember correctly, he had done a back body drop or suplex onto Rusev, so that definitely shows his strength. However, during the match, the Usos did a clean sweep of 2 falls, and I will say I was a little bit disappointed. Granted, for a 4-hour show, you're going to have to get some of these matches out of the way. But the action during the match, pretty good for what it was. I'm going to go ahead and just give this one a B+. So, there you go. I'll backtrack a little bit. There was the handicap match for the WWE Championship against champion AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. When it comes to handicap matches like this, that the person that's on their own is going to have, quite a stacked deck against them. And AJ Styles, they don't call him the Phenomenal One for nothing. And I've always talked about with some of my friends about people having WrestleMania moments. And on one of my live streams I did with my buddy GL Josh the other day, I said that I think that we need to start having Royal Rumble moments. Obviously, during the Rumble matches themselves, Kofi Kingston has always had those moments, and we're going to get into that in a little while. But I think AJ Styles definitely solidified his Royal Rumble moment last night by winning the handicap match against Owens and Zayn. Altogether, I would give this match a solid A for what it was worth. Now we're going to move on to the 2018 men's division of the Royal Rumble. The first 2 contestants were Rusev and Finn Balor. And as more people were coming out, we had quite a selection of wrestlers. Obviously, when you have people like Elias and Randy Orton, Matt Hardy and Baron Corbin. One thing I didn't like at the beginning of the Royal Rumble, Baron Corbin, after being eliminated, had a little bit of a hissy fit and started taking out everybody through the ropes. When Heath Slater came out, he got clotheslined up on the apron, or not the apron, the ramp, I should say, and he was out there for a while. A little bit of a snooze fest to beginning, you know, because with everybody laying out in the, you know, outside the ring. I don't really care for that too much. I mean, obviously with an hour-long match, you're going to have people laying around a little bit, being exhausted, but the action did definitely pick up midpoint in the Men's Rumble. The surprise contestants coming through had some pretty good ones. I mean, Sheamus and Cesaro both came in there. Obviously, they probably weren't going to win the Rumble due to their tag team match later on in the night. But Jinder Mahal was another one that came out that was a surprise. The gimmick surprise contestant, the Hurricane, Gregory Helms. I love that. That was really great getting to see him again. Going back to Sheamus, though, he does have the shortest elimination time. I wouldn't say it broke. I don't know if it broke the record, but having Heath Slater eliminate him, that was pretty funny. But at the same time, I wish somebody else probably would have eliminated him, but it is what it is. Number 30 was Dolph Ziggler. Now, a lot of people were worried where he was going to be after winning the United States Championship previously at a pay-per-view when he went back on SmackDown and dropped the title. He'd been away for a little bit, but it was good seeing him back for a while. The biggest surprise of a contestant was Rey Mysterio's return. He has not skipped a beat. He looks phenomenal. He was hitting 619s left and right, and you know, I liked it. I was happy that Roman Reigns was not number 30 this time. However, 28, yeah, a lot of people were kind of booing that, and I get it. We're just going to move on to just the final four of the night, which was, let's see, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. Now, I'll be honest, I was really hoping for Finn Balor for my first pick. Shinsuke was my second, but when Finn Balor got eliminated, it did make me a little upset. However, he did hold the longest time in the Rumble this year at 57 minutes and 30 seconds, and during the time of the Final Four, you could tell that the crowd was a little bit worried that Roman Reigns or John Cena was going to win because they wanted to see one of the younger guys get a push this time. And you could definitely hear the crowd's feelings on the matter with a "You both suck" chant, which I dug it. But in the end, Shinsuke Nakamura came out on top, winning the 2018 Royal Rumble in the men's division. And as for WrestleMania, he is going to be challenging AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. So I'm looking very forward to that. All in all, for the men's Royal Rumble match, fairly decent, and like I said before, you know, when I see too many people having their little quote-unquote snooze fest, you know, and they're laying around a lot and then figuring out when they're going to get back up and get back into the action, it did drag on a little bit for me. However, I will say the outcome was awesome, and also seeing a lot of the surprise entries made me happy. I'll go ahead and give this match a solid B. Now we have the triple threat match for the WWE Universal Championship between champion Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Kane. Now, this one I have mixed feelings on because obviously a lot of people want to see Braun Strowman win the championship match because, you know, hey, I like Braun Strowman, big guy, and some of the power that he's shown throughout, you know, episodes of Raw, and as well as some of the pay-per-views, you know at some point he is going to be champion, if not at WrestleMania sometime soon. One of my favorite moments is when Brock Lesnar was trying to hit him with a chair, and Braun straight up just punches the chair, and Brock Lesnar definitely had to look like he just himself. So
I think I made him himself.
So I laughed a lot on that one. A lot of tables going around, a lot of breaking. However, Brock Lesnar did defend his title and retain the title, and I will say that kind of fell flat for me a little bit because, all in all, decent, you know, big man match, a lot of, you know, destruction going on. However, it just seemed like the match was favoring Lesnar too much a little bit, and like I said, I'd like to see, you know, some fresh faces kind of win once in a while. I'm going to be a little less than lenient on this one, and I'm going to give this match a C. Solid C. Now moving on, we have a tag team title match for the Raw Championships between Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus the Bar of Cesaro and Sheamus. This one, I felt was a little short. They were going at it pretty good in the beginning. However, Jason Jordan did get injured, whether it is a selling injury or if it is a real one. He had gotten his head bounced off the ring post. We don't know if he has a concussion or not. And honestly, in real life, I really hope he doesn't. However, it became more of a one-sided match when Cesaro and Sheamus were basically 2-on-1ing Seth Rollins. Jason Jordan did try to make an effort to get back into the match. However, he tagged himself back out. And unfortunately, Cesaro and Sheamus got the upper hand with the pretty much a handicap match and basically won the Raw Championship titles for tag team. Now making it, I believe it is now a 7-time streak now. So, I mean, the match was good, but unfortunately due to that supposed injury, nobody likes that. I mean, obviously nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, but at the same time, it felt a little lackluster in a way. I'll be fair, and I will give this match a solid B. Now we're going to move on to the final match of the night, the 2018 first ever Women's Division Royal Rumble. This one, I liked it. I really did. I mean, for the first one ever, obviously there's going to be a lot of butterflies. There's going to be a lot of nerves, It's going to happen. I mean, mistakes can get made, but at the same time, I would say there was a lot more action in this Royal Rumble as opposed to the men's division. There was a couple moments where people were, laying around a little bit, but at the same time, there were some, some stiff shots that people were, getting knocked out of the ring through the ropes. Starting off with, let's see, we had Sasha Banks entering at number 1 and Becky Lynch entering at number 2. And as the night was going on, obviously, we had a number of pioneers in the women's division as surprise entries. Lita was one of my favorite ones coming in at number 5. Unfortunately, she was the third one eliminated, and it did kind of suck, but it was awesome getting to see her do Elite Assault, showing that, she still got it. I mean, a lot of these legends coming in, they still have it. I mean, Molly Holly never fails to impress. Beth Phoenix came out. Jacqueline came out. Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. Tori Wilson. I mean, like I said, I could say a whole lot about the match itself, but I mean, there was a lot of, a lot of action. I mean, more than the men's division, and I loved it. Asuka definitely stole the show a lot during the midway point of the Rumble. The one big surprise entry was number 30 at Trish Stratus. I've always been a fan of Trish Stratus, but yeah, there was a lot going on. The final 4 was the Bella Twins, Sasha Banks, and Asuka. Now, the Bella Twins were, definitely trying to hold their own together once they eliminate, one of the Bella Twins obviously eliminates the other one. Sasha Banks did get eliminated near the end. She went over 54 minutes in the first Rumble match ever, so now technically she holds the record. The second longest time in was Becky Lynch at 31 minutes. And the best part about the ending of the Rumble was Asuka knocking off one of the Bellas off the apron, which is something that was not necessarily, seen in a lot of the Royal Rumbles. A lot of times people get eliminated over the ropes. They were fighting along the apron, and Asuka got a nice, good, knee sweep on her and rolled back in the ring. Now, the ending, though, was a little bit of a coin toss because they didn't necessarily decide who Asuka was going to fight for the WrestleMania match between either Alexa Bliss for the Raw Championship or Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Championship. And we hear bad reputation, and Ronda Rousey comes out, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, leaving the last match at an open end. Now, I know a lot of people are probably either really happy that Ronda Rousey is coming into the WWE. I mean, I'll admit, I've been a big Ronda Rousey fan. I feel, in a way, it did kind of take a little thunder out of Asuka's victory for the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. However, it does make an exciting story for the upcoming Raw and or SmackDown, depending on which show Ronda wants to be a part of. I mean, a lot of people probably, thought it was kind of, come on, this is Asuka's time. It should be her time. But at the same time, it could definitely bring a lot of heat, depending on whether Ronda becomes a face or a heel in the company. So, all in all, with this match, I enjoyed it a lot. The ending kind of threw me off a little bit. I'll go ahead and I'll give this one an A-, because, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of things that were going on in this one. The one thing for the quote-unquote gimmick surprise entry that kind of threw me off, I mean, Vicky Guerrero, it stunk up. I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, for me, I was like, really? It is what it is, though. Two of the things I did enjoy throughout the event was the announcement of the 2019 Royal Rumble being taken place at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, as well as the announcement of April 10th on HBO. They will be showing the documentary on the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. So I'm looking forward to that. I grew up watching Andre, and it should be awesome. Given everything with a 4-hour pay-per-view event, and some of the matches feeling like they had to either be cut short or some of the commercials being put into the kickoff matches, I'm going to go ahead and give the entire event itself a B+. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of moments that, I felt like because of it being a 4-hour event, everything had to be shortened a bit. However, everything was fast-paced. I mean, apart from the men's rumble at, here or there. But I would say the women's Royal Rumble match definitely, and AJ Styles versus Owens and Zayn definitely are the matches that shine a lot more throughout the night. Don't get me wrong, the triple threat match was awesome, getting to see a lot of brutality in and out of the ring. But like I said, I really was hoping to see Braun Strowman win. But I would give this event in a whole a B+. So, other than that, that is my review on the 2018 Royal Rumble. We hope you enjoyed this segment. Be sure you like, share, comment what you liked about the event, what you didn't like about it, or whether you think some of these matches I graded need a better or worse grade. And as always, push the red button and ring that little bell for some instant notifications on upcoming segments and episodes on Dragonfire Entertainment. We've got a lot coming up, and we've got a lot more ideas on the way. And if there's anything you want to see, be sure you leave a request in that comment section below, and we'll be sure to get it out as quick as possible and give you a shout out in the process. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and I will see you soon.